Welcome to Buckeyes Tomorrow Morning for Tuesday, December 27th. I'm your host, Tom Orr. The Peach Bowl game against Georgia is in 4 days. The game against Michigan in 333 days. I'm here with Tony Gerdeman. We are in the same place. We are in Atlanta, Georgia. This was the goal. The plan was for us to be here about 24 hours earlier. The airline industry, winter weather, crew issues, the general bloody-mindedness of the universe all conspired against us. Kevin Noon had an 8-hour surprise drive from Columbus today. I had an 11-hour surprise drive from Houston. However, we are here. Apologies for not having a show yesterday, but we will do our very best to make up for it between now and January 1st when we leave here, and may or may not have another trip across the country after that, but we'll get to that when we get to that. First of all, let's get to the Peach Bowl. Ohio State flew down on Christmas Day, and here we are on the night of the 26th as we're recording this. They have already been very busy since they got down here.
Yeah, get down on Christmas. They had a Christmas dinner prepared for them by the hotel staff, the Peach Bowl staff. Also had Santa brought in as well for the families, because obviously the coaches and the entire world of Ohio State football, it's a large contingent. So families there got to experience all of that as well. And then they were able to hit the ground running and hit the practice ground running this morning at like a 10 to 11:30 a.m. practice at Mercedes-Benz Stadium. That way they can just get into a rhythm as quickly as possible. This is a game week, and now they're fully in game week mode. And so now that you try to make things as normal as possible, but there are going to be distractions / events every single day. Monday night, they're at the College Football Hall of Fame. They're doing some competition, some game shows type stuff against Georgia. You'll have that thing every single day, but you want that routine in the early part of the day with practice.
And, it's going to be a normal routine with practice, but it's not a normal setup with practice. You're playing on the same field you're going to be playing on New Year's Eve. So how different is that for them? They've only got one field instead of having 4 at home or 5 at home if you include the indoor. How different is that for them to be practicing in this kind of a setup?
Well, and it was interesting because Kirby Smart, Georgia head coach, this is the third time they've played in this building this year. This will be the third time. And so he was asked, what kind of benefit is that? And he said, really, they know where all the clocks are. Quarterbacks know where to look. And new venues, your quarterbacks are looking and coaches are looking like, where is the, where are we on the clock and the game clock? And so that's some stuff that you get used to. Obviously, you go into this with like the Hoosiers mindset of, you measure the rim to the floor and, you do it's all of the same measurements, but you're right. It's just one field, but that's also what they have on the indoor. Mm-hmm. When the conditions are bad, you have to find ways to, everything is mini field basically, unless you're going good on good or 7-on-7, stuff like that.
Yeah, it will be interesting to see how quickly they adapt to this. Obviously, Ohio State having practiced there all week, we'll have CJ Stroud, have an opportunity to get up to speed with, you normally teams have kind of done away with the old Friday walkthrough for the most part. That used to be a big thing. Everyone, would come into Columbus and they'd come walk through the stadium on Friday afternoon and, just sort of get the oohs and ahs out of the way. That is kind of a thing of the past now in college football for the most part, but no, Ohio State's kind of getting the benefit of that anyway. And, so they now know, who they're playing. They now know where they're playing. They're starting to get a look around the place and all that kind of stuff. Then Ryan Day started getting asked some more difficult questions. The stuff that, congratulations, you found the stadium. That's the easy part. Now you got to stop Georgia. Now things get a little harder. So what did Ryan Day say when he was asked, what do they have to do on defense to stop Georgia?
Yeah, with everything, it starts with fundamentals. And as long as you can do that, then you're able to roll with the punches. And then you have to figure out, where are the punches going? Where are the punches being targeted? So you figure out where your defense is being targeted, and then why is that, and what can you do to help? Do you need help? Hey, if you don't need help, then things are going great. So it starts with fundamentals, then it's figuring out where you're being attacked, and then if you need to help out, then you change some stuff. But it always comes back to fundamentals, because everybody has their role, everybody has their responsibility. The defenses, for the most part, are supposed to be sound. So even if something goes poorly and you're fundamentally sound, there should be somebody to help out Now, obviously, that's not always the case, but that is always the intent. And it requires that players make plays. And the best way, the easiest way to make plays is by staying fundamental and not getting out over your shoes and missing a tackle when you're the last line of defense, something like that.
Well, and the other thing that's helpful on that front is they have a whole bunch of tape to teach off of now, because you go back through the Michigan game and how many times we've heard about, well, if it wasn't for these 5 big plays, the Buckeyes, the day after that game, on the Sunday after that game, watch the film on all of it and walk through all of those plays and what went wrong and what's your job. And I have a feeling, we always hear about, you keep hearing the same phrases from guys. I have a feeling we're going to hear a lot about the fundamentals and doing your job and not trying to be Superman, because we have heard a lot about, you always can kind of tell what the coach has been stressing. I certainly expect that will be one of the things that we hear a lot when we do interviews this week.
And we heard it a couple weeks ago when we finally talked to the team at the Woody. And so that's going to be the same message that we get this week when we talk to them. And it feels like it's going to be a regimented message where you're just trying to regurgitate what the coaches have said, not say anything that will get you in trouble. I even asked Kate Stover on Monday, everybody's talking about the Georgia tight ends. Are people not talking about the Ohio State tight ends? Are they overlooking you? And he's like, boy, you know what? He just brushed off the question, not even going to go there. We're just happy to be here, that sort of thing.
Mm-hmm.
We're looking forward to playing a good game against the fighting Georgia Dogs. And so you try to do as much coach speak as possible, which is probably the exact reason we got the players that we got today.
Yeah, we got Tommy Eichenberg and Cade Stover, and Tommy Eichenberg, I think, gets unfairly comped to Tough Borland a lot, but the one place that seems extremely true is during the interviews when Tough Borland, he would have been just as happy having bamboo shoots shoved under his fingernails than doing interviews. Tommy Eichenberg generally gives off the same vibe, but we'll stay on message.
Yeah,
and it doesn't speak. The key to that is not speaking a lot, and he does that very well. So yes, Ohio
he's not
State,
a wild card.
He is not a wild card. No, and you can tell when Ohio State really wants to make sure nobody says anything interesting, and that you will they will make that clear with the choices. We will get to talk to a whole bunch more guys later on in the week, and we'll go through that in a minute. We'll go through the rest of the week's schedule in a minute, but I did want to talk a little bit on the offense about tempo. That's something that we have seen. We've watched Georgia run a little bit of tempo this year in some of the games we've watched. We've watched other teams run tempo against Georgia, and that has seemed to me like something that Ohio State has had success with when they've tried it, but they haven't done it that much this year, and it feels like maybe that's something we might see on New Year's Eve against Georgia.
And Ryan Day he was asked about how, you guys used it so effectively against Clemson the last time you played them in 2020. And he has talked about how, when he first got here, they used it quite a bit, but defensives catch up. And the way we have always equated it to is just changing your speed as a pitcher. You can throw 101 miles an hour, but if you just only throw 101, batters will catch up to that. So you have to change speeds. And having watched as much Georgia as we have now, they use tempo so effectively because it just comes out of left field. Mm-hmm. And as you know, Tom, if you throw a pitch from left field, that's weird. So it's this. It almost catches the camera and the broadcast crew off kilter because it's like, oh, they're going tempo now. And so the defense has to get ready. And the key for the Ohio State offense, when they do this, and I agree it is effective, it's not effective when you get a false start before you can even get the playoff. But Georgia, we have seen Georgia struggle with it, but all defenses struggle with it. It's when you only do that is when they can start to time things up.
Exactly. And, the time that tempo works best is off of a good gain. So you run for 7 yards on first down, get to the line real quick before they have time to adjust and figure out, okay, it's 2nd and 3, they can run or pass, what are they going to do, and make that call, get to the line quickly. Now, the easy part is running tempo. The hard part is getting 7 yards on first down, running 7 yards on first down to get to the point where you can set yourself up for that. We are setting ourselves up for quite a busy week of content this week. We have interviews. The way they do these bowl game interview sessions is you get one team's offense and the other team's defense on one day, and then you flip-flop on the second day. And we get Ohio State's offense and Georgia's defense on Tuesday. Then we'll get Ohio State's defense and Georgia's offense on Wednesday. Thursday will be the media day. And Friday will be And media day is we can talk to basically anyone we want to, which for the first time pretty much all year, which is always a great time to get sound from guys we have not really gotten a chance to talk to for a long time. And then the day before the game, we get the head coach's press conference, and we'll have a bunch of other fun stuff in there as well. Lots of events, lots of interviews. We're going to the College Football Hall of Fame, I think, at one point. There's a lot of stuff this week in the lead up to the game, and I'm going to guess we'll have a couple live shows to let the folks ask us questions, get up to speed with everything that's going on. So
now that you're in town,
now that I've finally gotten off my lazy butt and
I didn't want to say it.
Finally gotten here to Atlanta. I procrastinated enough.
Fine, I'll go. Fine.
Kevin and I just wasting hours and hours of the week sitting in airports for no reason. It was great. But now we're here. That really is great. We are very excited to be here. We are very excited for what should be a fantastic week of coverage at BuckeyeHuddle.com. Lots of fun on our board, on the Huddle board at Buckeye Huddle. Lots of fun on our YouTube channel, youtube.com/Buckeye Huddle, and of course on all our podcasts as well. You can find those wherever fine podcasts are sold. Just search Buckeye Huddle. Tony and I will be doing, obviously, a whole bunch of Buckeye Weeklies this week. We'll have a Buckeyes tomorrow morning every day, obviously, as well. So should be lots of fun stuff. We'll try and get some other staff members on for some of those live shows as well. We're, as always, as we have learned this week, everything is subject to change, but we have some fun stuff planned, so we hope you will join us for all of that. That will do it for today. Thank you guys all for joining us. Have a great day. We'll talk to you tomorrow.